Hi friends, welcome to the next edition of Garden2TableTV. We are here at the home ranch at the Magical Paradise Retreat, and it's February, so of course it's planting season for fruit trees, bare root fruit trees, and great time to put stone fruits in the ground. So we are planting a nectarine tree, a bare root nectarine tree. We're gonna get him in the ground while he's still asleep, and he'll be waking up in a few weeks, all happy in his new digs. Kevin here is helping us digging a big hole. We're gonna experiment with square holes, which seem to be the thing now that everybody's talking about. So we're gonna dig a big square hole. We're gonna mix some of this very heavy clay soil with some soil amendment, and we're gonna make him all happy and get the tree all situated and show you how we do it. And we do have to use gopher cages here because I have a heavy gopher load. So I wish I didn't have to. I wish those roots could run wild and free, but we got to keep them in a cage. Otherwise the gopher will take them out overnight here. So in any case, we'll get right to it and show you how it's done. Kevin's working really hard here getting this square hole prepped. We're trying the square hole method.
What are you naming this tree, Catherine?
It's named Kevin after Kevin. He got to pick out his own tree.
Why do you think I'm digging the hole?
All right, so we got pretty heavy clay soil, but this little spot in the orchard seems a little lighter than usual. But we're gonna be mixing that native soil with some good soil booster amendment here from Edie Stone. I would normally try to make my own, but I don't have any compost going at the moment. So we're gonna mix that soil conditioner with the native soil to lighten it up a little bit for these baby roots. And then I do put all my trees in a root guard. I really like this brand, Digger's Root Guard. They just already have these pre-prepped, so of course you can make your own. And remember, gopher wire is not the same as chicken wire. It's a little bit narrower gauge because gophers can squeeze through chicken wire, but not this slightly narrower gauge gopher wire. So we'll open this up and it'll make a nice basket, or you can make your own. And make sure you get the tree size, a nice 15 gallons, so at least those roots have a little bit of wiggle room. All right, we're gonna help Kevin here get this hole dug, and then we'll be planting this beautiful nectarine. It's a double trouble, we like to say, but we're calling it actually Double Delight Nectarine. And they say it's perhaps the best flavored yellow freestone nectarine. The good thing about this nectarine that we're gonna name Kevin is that you can see it's not budding out yet, which is good because here we are prone to peach leaf curl. So if it was already budding out and it would be in the moisture of this late winter, early spring, we'd be really susceptible to the peach leaf curl, which also affects nectarines. So I love the fact that he's a late bloomer and not an early variety, so he might have a better chance here to not be affected by that issue that's so common, especially in my area. All right, we're gonna get right to it and get him in the ground. Okay, Kevin, tell us where we're at. Are we done digging?
I think we're pretty close to done digging. We did our square hole, and nice and deep, and we just put our little what do you refer to that as?
The gopher wire.
Gopher
yeah, the gopher
wire
cage.
in there.
Gopher cage.
Gopher cage.
Okay,
and
so it's a.
you want the gopher cage, the wire to be like 5 inches or so above ground level, just so the gophers can't get over the top of it. So I'm going to cut this edge back a little bit, put it in the hole so it's a little higher, because we do get a slope that's going this way, going west.
All right.
And then we'll go ahead and backfill it. We'll use the bag of soil booster and mix that into compost.
Okay.
To make it really nice and soft, so the tree will grow. But I think
okay.
this guy's got a fighting chance. His name's Kevin, so I mean, come on. So I've got some dirt. Then I'm going to go ahead and layer it with some of the compost. Then dirt, almost like a layer cake or a 7-layer dip. You eat at the Super Bowl kind of thing. So kind of the same concept. We only have 2 ingredients.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see how it's done.
I'm going to go ahead and just put the booster in around the edges there, all the way around the bottom of this one too, and on the back side. We'll get our shovel, add a little more of the dirt that we had removed, and just kind of keep doing this till we get almost, not quite to level, and we'll see how it looks and adjust accordingly. All right, here comes Catherine. Catherine, what are you doing?
All right, this is Kevin. We're going to put little Kevin here, the Double Delight Nectarine, in the ground. Now, really, he's a bare root that our nursery just stuck in some dirt, but he's really a bare root tree. So most of this is going to fall away. So it looks like he's got some of his own soil, but most of it's going to fall away, we'll notice. But we're still going to, gently press the sides as if he had roots, just in case he's already developed some, which is unlikely at this early stage of the year. We're going to try to take him out carefully we put a little bit of compost and soil mixed, soil booster and clay mixed in here to raise it up just enough. So he's hopefully going to be right at the right height. You don't want your trees under the, you don't want them underneath the root line. Yeah, see, these are all really, well, he's got a little bit of roots, but not much. But he's dormant, so this won't bother him too much. What you don't want to do is ever have any of the trunk, this is now the trunk of this, what was once a branch, you don't want any of the trunk under the level of your ground because you'll end up rotting your trunk out. So we're going to have to backfill him some more so that he sits up right about there. You don't want him under the level of the rest of your soil. In fact, if anything, slightly above, but definitely not below, okay? Because then we'll end up with rot here at the bottom of the tree. So we're going to fill this in a little bit, and then we'll just gently add soil booster and soil until we get him perfectly situated, and we'll make sure he's straight. Because I'll tell you, once they stop growing, if they're not in just straight as an arrow the way you want them, you're not going to get them fixed. So we're going to take some real special care to get him perfectly aligned before we walk away from this project. All right, here we go. All right, so I've got some soil here that he came with, so I'm going to put that in. I'm going to kind of just gently put that around him. And he's right about, maybe he's still a little low. Really want him sitting about there. So we're just going to start putting in some of the native soil and mixing that with the soil booster and kind of lightly sifting that down around his roots so that his roots stay as open and expanded as possible. All right, we want him right about that height, so I'm going to make sure he doesn't get too low. Be very gentle with your new trees. But he is asleep, so we've got that going for us. And of course you don't want the roots exposed, so we're going to make sure we put enough in to get those roots well covered. And then the extra we have left, we're going to keep mixing around the outsides. So again, remember, know where his trunk line was at the ground before you start putting him in. Make a mental note of that and don't bury him any deeper, okay? It's even more important for really established trees. He is a bare root, so he might not quite know where he's at yet anyway, but good rule of thumb is to never bury the trunk. All right, so he's pretty even there with the original soil. So that's a good level. We want to make sure he's really nice and even. So you kind of walk around all sides of the tree because you might think he's straight, and then you come over here and you see he's all cockeyed. So walk around your tree before you pat him down. But I think he looks pretty good. All right, so we're gonna kind of gently get him situated. Probably add a little more soil. And then we'll check again to make sure he's right where we want him. And I'm going to nip off a little shoot, a little early shoot coming off down here. We don't want to branch down here. So any of that little greenery you see poking out early there, keep the tree, the trunk nice and clean because we don't need lower branches. And we want all the energy to go into these branches. And they've already pruned, you know, they've already kind of shaped him just perfectly. We picked one that was pretty perfect with branches going each direction. So he's nice and balanced. We like that. Probably not going to do any pruning in this particular case. And we'll watch him grow over this year. He's going to take off. Mark my words, he's going to love this soil mixture. And he's got great sun exposure here. A little bit windy, but I think he'll be okay. So, and always tramp your soil down because you really want to know where it's at. You want to make sure it's pressed into the ground so your tree doesn't end up settling crooked. We're going to water him after this, and again, really check him to make sure he's level once he's saturated. All right, so we have a little bit of extra soil that we took out, you know, that doesn't need to go back in. So what I tend to do with the extra soil is always make a berm around the lower side if you're on a slope. So in this case, quite a bit of a slope here going down. So we're gonna use this and drag this over here and make a bit of a smiley face, a bit of a crescent here to make sure we catch any runoff and kind of give him a fighting chance to get some water down there. So that's the last step, and we'll finish that up and show you the final product. Okay, there is the Double Delight nectarine. Freestone yellow nectarine getting watered into the ground. He's all set up. We've tapped him in again after he got wet, and we've walked around to make sure he's still straight. Of course, we're going to check on him in the morning. You really got to make sure they're straight early on, because good luck trying to fix them once those roots start growing. Really, it's harder than you think. So there he is. I think we're good. Really love the shape of this tree. There we go. All right, we'll see you on the next episode.